How many of you actually have heard of Skillport before today? That's not good. All right, so you came here expecting to hear that it does what? Anybody know? Online training repository for technology. So as faculty, you're able to use this app, and I'll show you here in a minute what it is. Right? So if you want to learn desktop applications like Microsoft Word, all the Office suite, Windows, Windows 7, all the new Windows Windows actually, except for going back to Windows XP, are all included. Some Adobe products are included. So Adobe Photoshop, anyone use that? Now, if you're an advanced user of Photoshop, you know, it doesn't go real deep. But if you're a sort of intermediate user, you'll find something that's very interesting. If you're a new user, you'll find everything you need to get you started. Okay? That includes in the Adobe suite. We also have Dreamweaver, Illustrator, and several others. I'll show you in here in a few moments. That is available to you. How much it'll cost me? It's available to you for free. So, there are a couple of caveats to that. And that is this. As faculty, I'd like to see you use it to answer questions and maybe for yourself, you know, to find out, for instance, if you need to learn how to do mail merge. And you got a new flavor of Office, you're not sure how to do mail merge. You'll be able to use this tool to Google, and do like kind of a Google search, and drill right down to that little segment of a course, and also library references, because in addition to being an online course repository, we also have an online library of technical documents, you know, books like Microsoft Office front to back, you know, the Office Bible, etc. So quite a few of those are also included in it. Rather than expecting you to go through and do a whole course from front to back, not likely many of us will do that. I mean, I'd like to really think we would, but the truth is I've been watching the statistics, and frankly, we tend to use the answer we need today to get on for our day. Instead of sorting through the help files or whatever, you just drill down real quickly and easily and get to just what you want. And also, by the way, in the library, the document library, you can bookmark things and save it so you can go back to it later. You ever had that where you look for one thing and find something else, like, I totally am going to need that later. Well, you can bookmark it, and when you log in, it's there for you. So it's always there. Another thing you can do with that library is share with other people in other groups. Anyone who has an account in the system, we can set up a group for you to share with others. So, as instructors, as faculty, what we might do, and this is, we don't have enough licenses to just open up an entire campus yet, so it's sort of a proof of concept. However, we have more than we're going to use it anytime soon. Okay? What we'd like to see is perhaps one or two or a handful of people that are interested in using the tool also in their academic courses. Not completely in their course. I mean, obviously you don't want to make your whole course on this. I did it last semester, it worked really good. And what I used it for is all those things where you're trying to get a point across to students. Yes, you can write me a paper, and you don't have those usually come out very formative, very rudimentary. But when that gets to be a really long paper, that's kind of tedious. Inside Word, many of you may know, some of you don't, maybe not know, you can have a dynamic table of contents, dynamic page number, dynamic bibliography, all that. How much time will that save you when you're writing a 50-page paper? And if you're the guy that's reading it, that's reading that paper, how cool is it that it's organized so you're not referencing page 5 when you're on page 12, and that kind of thing. The more important aspect of that is to look at the quality of the graduates we have. I know that we have sort of this belief that, hey, our students already know about computers and email. Well, I teach classes for African American students. I know that's usually not. I do, and it's about technology, teaching students technology. They don't know. They know how to instant message. They know how to do rudimentary email. They know how to do a real basic paper in Word. They don't know how to adjust margins in Word. They don't know how to do page numbering. All these things that make their output look more professional and polished. And as a professional today, of course, that's what we're after here, right? All of our students hopefully are going to go out into the world, become professionals, and shine. You can't really shine in this day and age without knowing your way around Microsoft Office type of products. Not necessarily Office, but the productivity suite kinds of applications. So, for instance, I'll show you a couple of the little tutorials, the little sample demos, right? For those of you that haven't seen it, the tool. To give you, hopefully what I hope to do is give you a sense of, hey, there's how I might be able to use this in a course. Or just for my own use. Either way, it's okay. It used to be that my team would teach these introductory classes because, that's really all we can really handle, only a couple of us. And so we'd be able to teach like intro to Excel. Okay, anyone who knows Excel knows that's not going to get you very far. Because if you're really going to use it, you need a lot more advanced information. Those of you that use Excel every day and do it, let's say for instance you use pivot tables, that sort of thing. An introductory class is not going to help you at all. And if you want to learn the whole application front to back, that's going to take at least a semester. Well, there are those of us that kind of intuitively know how to get to a certain point in an application, and then we need help just kind of closing the deal and making, putting that polish on it. This tool will help you put that polish on it without having to dig through help files. Okay? So, can students use it? Yes, but it's not available just openly to all students yet, okay, because again, proof of concept, right? What we want to see is it being used in an academic way, within your course material that makes sense so that we can justify buying those additional licenses and maybe at some point just be able to give it to everyone. The truth of the matter is, though, statistically speaking, with this type of an application, the adoption rate is relatively small. So if we license the entire campus, every student, only if we're really lucky, if we're really, really doing a great job of promoting it, we might get 20%, 25% of people that use it all the time. Right? That's just the nature of the beast. So it really doesn't make sense to license it for everyone we have time. But anyone who needs it, we can give you access to it. I have these cards. If you would have just for contact information. So if you're interested in doing this, you contact any one of us on that card, and we'll set you up with an account, walk you through it, do an individual consultation with you to make sure you understand how it works and what to do. I'm going to show you some of that now, but 30 minutes isn't a whole lot of time. So we will do one-on-one. Help you do whatever it is you need to do, help you get the level of understanding you need to feel comfortable using the tool, or whatever you want to use it for. So let's actually look at a couple of samples, so you get a sense of. Now here's the curriculum, and you'll notice that there's quite a bit. Let me break it down here. So desktop curriculum is what we're talking about. You'll notice, hopefully you in the background can see this, University of Oklahoma Sexual Misconduct Awareness Training. That's customized content that we are now building because the university has adopted this tool for legal compliance training. So you're going to hear a lot more about it. It's not just the IT doing this. This is the president's office paid for licensing for all students, faculty, and staff to have access to do this type of legal compliance training. Title IX, if you want to. So if you look at desktop curriculum, there's some other things there too. This is all just customized curriculum. This is a specific course type curriculum, but what you'll really want to be interested in is under desktop curriculum. You can see we have Adobe Acrobat and several different flavors of the Acrobat Reader, which is not all that interesting. But if you have a question about it, it's there. Adobe Flash, Dreamweaver, Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, that's what I couldn't think of earlier, Fireworks, and so on. Even Captivate, for those of you who might use that. And desktop best practices, for instance, this is something that all students, and I'd like to really see University College pick up on the idea that all students should know some basic stuff about their security for their machines, because in my classes, which are all technology based, the first order of business every semester is, okay, whose computer's not working? And the hands go up. Well, what's it doing? Well, it's doing this, it's doing that. And we have to sort through all of that and get them to the right help. The thing is, we have free tools here on campus. Every student should go in. If you have a question about it.
We have, for example, a situation where we teach every business student an intro class. Is it possible that wouldn't be interested in most of this, but should know that?
Yeah.
Is there a way of getting that part available to them without going to Skillport?
Well, not without going in Skillport. Okay, so technically, yes, but I don't really like the way that works. You can download the course, and just have the module on your desktop. But my experience with it is, you kind of hit and miss. So it's not one of the stronger features. I feel that's just my personal feeling.
You want to put it in D2L.
Yeah, you can't really do that. You can link out of D2L to this. And we are not yet, again, this is a proof of concept kind of deal. So this tool, as you'll see here in a moment, is not synchronized with Active Directory. For those of you who don't understand that. Basically, your single sign-on unit, your username and password, doesn't work here. It will eventually. We're working on it because now the President's Office is brought in. Initially, when we first got this, it was IT. We were looking for training for our folks, right? Because we have a lot of engineer-level people that need ongoing training all the time, and we need to be able to put our finger on technical information that's relevant right now, real fast, right? This will do that. I'll show you in a few moments how you can query this essentially database of courses and books to get answers. So your security best practices, that's something that pretty much every student should know. Right? And we do this in IT, we do promote that, but it's here as well. Home and personal computing, if you drill down into this, that's wrong. Personal finance. We also have QuickBooks in there, QuickBooks 09, which is kind of handy for those of you that use it. If you use it at home. I do. And guess what? I use this over and over and over. It's pretty helpful. Actually, it's pretty good. But let's look at one of our little demos. Let's say, for instance, something that is really a common kind of thing that we might be able to use in the classroom is, just as I said before, table of contents, footnotes, that sort of thing. And I'll launch this little course module. So you kind of see the tool in action. It takes a minute. There's a lot of stuff that has to load up with essential information. All right, creating a table of contents in Word. And while this is coming up, one of the things...
You can create custom manual or automatic content pages. You can use one of Word's built-in templates to create a table of contents. The only the document's title and headings are formatted using a built-in style. In this case, Word searches documents with these built-in heading styles and automatically populates the table.
How many of you have actually used that feature? I use it all the time. It's the only way I can find my way around.
To create an automatic table of contents, you first need to use the Styles tab on the Home tab to apply built-in heading styles to
So,
text.
I won't go into a lot of detail. The point being that it's actually pretty interactive. I mean, you can see they have segments in which you're asked to do these things. You see the Microsoft Word opens up there, and you have to actually click here and here and here and follow the instructions, and they just gave you to do this stuff. The 88 plan. That's a big if right now, actually. I asked the Skillport people, and they said yes. But technically, our ADA people were asking the same question, and there seems to be a little difference of opinion there. But in terms of the industry, we don't know. Outside the university, everyone believes that it's ADA compliant. Internally, there was still a bit of a question mark on that.
The text version of what you said.
Yeah, everything. Everything. Yeah, and that's available. You may not be able to see it at the back of the room, but it's available down here on these little tabs to show learning points, show captions. So there's captions. And the learning points is also very good because it shows you can jump around inside the module. But yeah, so and also you'll find, not in this particular one, but in many of their, and some of my people, some of my users have actually complained about it. Sometimes you'll see, and this is very common, you'll see the text, and the person is just basically reading you the text. Well, that's to make it well compliant. And so in this particular case, that's not how it works, but very often it is that way. So they're doing everything they possibly can to make it compliant. Yeah, because that's a big question, really, very, very good question. So another one that we might actually use, and I've been called upon, and by the way, my team does this. If you have something, let's say in a class that you're teaching, you really need your students to be able to do, they're just going to go, no, an advanced feature, use an advanced feature in Excel for a project, but you don't really have time in class to teach that. Right? We can set you up with an account in here for your students, put your students in there so you can see what they've done and what they haven't done. And that's all on the back end. This account that I've created here is just what the students would see. You can actually run reports on it, know exactly when they logged into each module, how long they were in each module, what they scored in every thing that they actually interacted with, and whether or not they completed. And that was the biggest thing that I found last semester when I was running the demo, is that students didn't think you could know that. So I started just emailing them the report. And, well, I know I did that. really, that's funny because here's the report, and it says you haven't even logged in there. So once they get that, then they stop messing with it. And they just go, oh, okay, fine, I'll do it. None of this stuff is rocket science, really. I mean, at this level, we do have another library that's available for IT professionals, and like within our organization and elsewhere. It goes into a lot more detail than you'll ever need probably in the classroom, unless you're a computer science major or something like that. If you are in that situation, let's talk about it. Maybe there's something we can do there. There is some. This is, as it says, there's no cost involved. We can just set you up with it. If you need the IT professional level, that's a much more expensive library. And so for about $100 per year per seat, isn't that what we thought, Carolyn?
Yes.
We can set you up with that, which is a huge bargain because you don't have any of the upfront cost. I mean, we're already paying for the big cost of doing this. The way that we ended up with this tool was, as I said, we're looking for training for our people. And as a side note, because my team does training, technology training, we wanted, maybe a couple hundred licenses that we could use in conjunction with our training, because this material is great. We actually use it in our classes a lot. As it turned out, though, we started negotiating with the company, and we got this huge block of these particular licenses for a very small amount. I think it works out to something like $3 a year, right, per seat. I mean, it's just incredibly cheap, right, for all of this content. Now, if you go to their website, you can go to skillsoft.com and look at this content and go and get it. You'll choke on it. I mean, it's really pretty expensive. This tool, how many of you looked at things like L&K before? Anybody? Okay, L&K, these guys bought them. So L&K now is owned by Skillport. When I was looking for this, me and my boss back there, Gerald, was looking for a tool. We looked, L&K was really running. I mean, we really wanted it, but it was really expensive in comparison to the deal we got here. There's all the same things, but they have these even better labs than this has. So we were going to do that. We were very interested that we didn't do it. So we were really happy when we found out that Skillsoft bought it out. So eventually, anything that was in L&K will somehow end up, we haven't figured that out yet, we'll end up as some of our offerings. Okay. All right, another one, just another little quick demo. How many of you ever used pivot tables? Okay, so, I mean, they're really useful, but everyone thinks they're super complicated, right? And, in certain, when you're massaging data, you have large bits of data, they're handy. So you can, by the way, assign just modules to students, assign due dates for it to be done, assign, what we call ticklers, so they'll be reminded by email, hey, you haven't started this, or hey, you need to do this, as time goes on. And then whether or not they do it, you run a real quick report and you find out
In
exactly
Excel
what they did.
2010, pivot tables, also referred to as pivot table reports, are tables that display and summarize the data in other tables or data ranges. Many Excel users believe that they're one of Excel's most useful features. You can manipulate pivot tables to determine which subsets of data they display, how the data is organized, and what types of calculations must be applied to summarize the data. This makes pivot tables useful for viewing data in depth.
Okay, so you go through the whole thing, everything chopped up in small segments, so after each section, there's some sort of, there is something you have to interact with to make sure that you got it before you can move on. It grades all that's recorded. Everything they've ever done in the system is recorded forever. You can't erase it, so being the guy that takes care of this, I'm in and out of all kinds of courses. It looks like I'm really smart. It looks like I got all kinds of stuff that I've learned, but really I've been just poking around looking for different people's questions, right? So it keeps every single record. It's compliant that way. So for legal compliance, that's why we went there. Because when you log into the system with your username and password, from that moment on, everything is documented. Just in an automated way. Now, one of the things that I forgot, that I haven't actually, I didn't forget, but I wanted to show you was searching for information. Just, your typical day, I have a problem I need to find an answer to, and we can use pivot tables. And see what happens here. If you'll notice that up here, you have all the response. So this is everything that it came up with as a reference within all the content in the entire system. There's 132 books that reference that, so you can drill down to it. There is one course that's specific to the one I just showed you. That's why I chose that one. That one course shows you, and if you click there, it'll take you to that one. Right? These little pills here show how relevant each of those links are to your question, based on what you said. So obviously, asking a better question gets you a better solution up front. But all of that is available to you, and you click on it, and in this case, we'll click on this Excel, the Bible. There's the book. That's the actual full text version of the book, which you can copy, paste, pull the information out, whatever you want, you want to cite it and all that, right? But I find this really helpful because usually I need just this much to solve a technical problem, and I can just print that off and take it with me, and set it down beside the machine and fix it or do whatever. For most of us, that's helpful. So, you can drill down into this. This is basically the table of contents. And when you do, it opens up in this other interface. And this is books247.com that's opening up here. Books247.com is an online library, a full-text library. In here, you can also do, as what I was mentioning before, sharing this particular bit of information, this bookmark. Oh, I figured out how to do this or that in pivot tables, and share that with a group of people. So if you're in a class setting or if you're working in a team, and one of you finds the solution that you're going to need, you can bookmark it and share it with those people, and they have access to it, and everyone can make comments on it. So it also has a little social networking impact, which is pretty cool, and extensively used inside of IT as well. Because very often there's one guy that knows this one little detail. And instead of him having to explain it all to you, type it all out, he can just go find it because he knows exactly what it's called and how to express himself in terms of your search. Nail that, get the bookmark, and hand it out to everyone. And he's free to go on with the day. Our engineers are really busy people, and we ask them a lot of questions. They're called upon them for a lot of teach classes and everything. The other thing that we use this tool internal in IT for is that, internal professional development. So for instance, our network engineer, he has a group of people. Let's say I go to, and this guy's name is Zane. I say, Zane, I really want to learn from you, how the networking topology is laid out on campus. Say, okay, well, in order to understand that, you need to understand this other foundation, sort of the knowledge to get there. And he'll assign it to you inside of his little group. He'll assign it to his group, and then in there, he'll assign you chapters and courses and whatnot to give you just what you need to know so that you can now understand what he's talking about. And that's proven to be very, very helpful for us internally. I think that same kind of thing might be useful in certain class material. Not in every class, and it's not going to work for everyone. It's not a solution that one. But if you happen to have a class where you're really massaging a lot of data outside of SPSS or SAS or if you happen to be in client business, your graduates, you want them to be very well rehearsed on the use of all Microsoft applications. Because when you get out in the business world, you need to be able to exhibit that you know this. And by the way, I'm an employer off campus. I have a business, and I hire OU grads because I'm an alumni. So by the way, and I have to say that our grads are not living up to the standard. If they get out there, they know how to email. They don't know how to do an attachment. If you land yourself in an office setting, let's say at Devon, right? You're going to be like a fish out of water. That's a lot of catch-up time. And it makes you look bad. That's really not, we could call upon them. We think that they'll review all this themselves, but, they're also busy. Just like as faculty, you're busy with your research. This is just another tool to help you maybe you can work that into your curriculum as well. Right? If you can't, and if you can't, that's okay. But know that it's available. So if you have students who really have questions, that need help in this area, have them get in touch with me. If you sponsor them, we'll help them out this way. And we'll get them the account and show them where to look for the information that they need. How are you doing? I know I keep moving around. It's fine. I get it. I can't stand still. All right. So questions. Oh boy, I must not have done good. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
How far does it go back in office? I saw Office 2010.
Sure. It goes quite a way back. I think
2000.
Is it 2000?
Yeah.
And does it have the Mac versions or just the PC versions?
It has no. Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
No, because I'm Mac user as well. But Skillsoft is working on all the Mac stuff. So they'll have all the Mac OS, all the Mac applications and all that. It's all in work right now because when we were making this purchase, that was one of my big complaints. I'm like, Macs are pretty popular.
And if I can make a plug, this semester I'm actually, my name's David Stone. I'm one of the training team members, and we are actually rolling out Mac training classes this semester. So for things like for Office, some of the ones is Office for Mac 2000, I think it's 2011, 2012. I can't remember which version we're at now. Latest one.
But also
Yeah.
the Mac application, not just Microsoft application, the Mac resident.
Right. Yeah.
So your iWork stuff, or other courses on that, for students and staff, so that you can become familiar with it. Any of you use iWork? Yeah. So, I mean, I find it easier to use than Office. My only frustration now is with my Mac is my Outlook doesn't like to sync with my iPhone correctly for some reason when it comes to my calendar. And so I'll add something to my calendar sometimes, and it doesn't end up on my. And I swear this got your solution. Do you know it?
I've been in a line, but we'll
Oh,
talk about
okay.
that.
Because it gets me in trouble. Watching with my boss. I said, Charles, how you doing? Okay, so if we look back, that's a good question there. Hold on a second. So, XP, 2002 and XP.
Well, XP is 2000.
Yeah, it's 2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And part of the RFP for this product, or the, not the RFP, but the agreement here, is that they keep us up to date. And if they don't, then we have to go through this. So, because being an IT shop, we always have to know what is happening right now in the industry, not what happened last year.
I was just wondering, does it have any tutorial for how to make mobile apps, like iPhone apps?
Oh, I think in Books 24/7, there's not a tutorial, but Books 24/7 actually has app development books out there. I do want to point out that while there's no tutorial courses in here, Books 24/7 has a host of Mac-related, Apple-related books that you can access. I know I priced one out because I was looking for one that I actually liked, and I found one. It was $50, but I actually had access to the entire book, through the Books 24/7. So that saved me $50 out of pocket right away. So there's a lot of information out there, almost too much.
I'm about to run out of time.
Yeah.
So, all right. The thing to remember. Go ahead. Yeah. Question.
You had on the sexual harassment module, was that self-created, and how do we create our own?
Okay, that one is still up for grabs because we have to buy space on their server to do that. So it has to go through this channel to be able to be okay to do that. We want to get to the point where we can easily do it. I can do it right now. Yes, easy. And there's a tool specifically that's used. It's really helpful. But the good news is you can use pretty much anything you use to develop an online course, and I can import it into that tool, massage it, and publish it. That's what I did with this one. And in fact, I started that course you saw there. I started off with just a PowerPoint. Just did PowerPoint, laid it all out. They gave me the text, from where was it? For the text. I copied and pasted it over, and then we found the images, and then we got a couple video clips and whatnot. Just put it in there and massaged it in the tool and exported it out and published. So eventually we'll be there where we can do that real easily. Right now it's just legal compliant, so they're the ones that own the space. So it is possible to do, but we have to ask for permission, basically. Most of the courses, by the way, don't really think that much space. It is like Flash. It's very, very compressed. So it doesn't utilize all that much space. Other questions? Everyone get a copy of that card so you know who to contact. Now, realize also that you don't have to get a hold of it. If you just want an account, you can just simply go to OUR, and it's on there, URL there, and there's a place for you to sign up in an automated way. I'll show you. Or an account, just a account. Just down, right here. Click here to request a user account. You click there, and it's like your name and your department. That's all. Again, we just need basic contact information. And when you submit that, usually within a couple hours, sometimes it's like over the weekend, it might be a day, but usually within a couple hours, your account's all set up, and we send you back all the instructions on how to get in. And there's a lot, and we point out the tutorial for you so that everything that I said here, that you forget, is in the tutorial and will remind you how to do everything. And actually go into a lot more. Okay. All right. Questions? Any more questions? Thank you very much for your time.